Welcome to Sober Shenanigans. Real talk and real recovery, sharing stories, old and new, trying to stay on the right path and help others just like you. So feel our flow and get on with the show. Here's your hosts, Stoff and Primo.
There you go. So I'm going to let my man here officially start this show.
Okay.
And it's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. We're just two garden variety alcoholics, and I'm your host, Stoff, and with me is the other alkie, my main man, Hunter Grand Primo. What's going on, Primo?
What's going on, buddy? You know, even though I am court ordered to be here, I do love the show.
Nice. I love that court order. It keeps us rolling. With us today is Christy from Kalamazoo. Christy, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Greg. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. A lot of positive vibes here in the studio.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Christy, I know that you come from the Kalamazoo, Michigan area. How long have you been down in the Florida area?
Sure, absolutely. I moved here in 1996.
Okay. So what is that? 30 years?
29 years.
Yeah, 29 years. Okay. So why don't you expound a little bit on your early days up in Kalamazoo and how you ended up down here?
Sure, absolutely. Born and raised in Michigan, in Kalamazoo. And I played a lot of sports during my childhood. Basketball, softball, track. I was in cheerleading. I was also a downhill skier. I really enjoyed the winters in Michigan. And in middle school, I moved to a small town called Sturgis, just on the border of Michigan and Indiana.
Isn't that where all the Harley riders go?
No.
That's Sturgis, Dakota.
Oh. Same name.
Yeah.
Just checking.
Everyone says that to me. So, so I went to Sturgis, and I did a lot of sports, and I was very academic. I lived a pretty decent life. I had a broken family, though. My parents divorced when I was 5. When we moved to Sturgis, I lived on a freshwater lake, and it was a private lake, and we lived out in the country. Sturgis is a very small town, probably about 10,000 people. And when I moved to Sturgis is when I started drinking.
How old were you?
I was 14.
Okay. So like 10th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade?
Actually, I think I moved there when I was 13, and I started drinking at 14. So
You're kind of a late bloomer for Sturgis. They drink a little bit earlier.
They start early.
Oh, yeah,
So
they do.
people in Michigan love to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of alkies from Michigan.
She held out.
Yeah,
She was
there's
holding
one,
out.
There's one sitting across from me
Yeah.
from Michigan.
I mean, we
Amen,
used to have
amen.
parties out in the woods, keg parties, and there's a lot of drinking in Michigan. There's not much to do there.
Yeah.
So, and then I think my sophomore year, I got into smoking pot. And, I graduated early. Like I said, I was an academic. I graduated just after my 18th birthday, but it was a semester early. And that's when I moved to Florida. And I had known since I was 15 that I wanted to go somewhere else. And my dad had bought property in Florida when I was 15. And so I had been looking at schools here, and I looked at USF, and I was going to go to Miami, and my dad was not okay with that. He was,
Smart man.
He was not okay with it. So
Bad reputation.
yeah.
No.
So I landed in Tampa, and I went to the College of Business and got my bachelor's in business administration with a minor in marketing. And when I first moved here, I met the man that I ended up marrying 2 weeks after I got here. And
As a freshman in college,
pretty quick.
you got married?
Well, I got married at 20, but I met him when I was 18, and he introduced me to the rave scene in Tampa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sure. We were there.
I would have married him.
Probably all
I would have
there.
married. I felt like I missed out. I could have married a guy like that. That'd been great.
We probably saw each other somewhere. Fantasy Ranch or
Ybor.
Ybor City. That's actually where I met him, was Ybor, Club 1509.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
Sounds like a doomed event.
Yes, it was. Yeah. My dad was walking me down the aisle saying, I'm not paying for the divorce.
Man.
I really like your dad.
That's how that went.
Was he a vampire or a Dracula? Was he one of those characters that run around Ybor?
No.
No, one of those rape victims? Or
No.
I've never been to one. I was sober the whole time I lived here, so I don't even know what that's like.
Oh, I've been to 1509 for a rave, and
Greg was the doorman.
I knew the doorman.
Yeah,
I had lunch with one of them the other day.
I knew, his brother owned a lot of the clubs. The Brad, the guy I married, his brother owned a lot of them. So we had VIP everywhere, and we were 18, underage, and partaking in all sorts of designer drugs. And let's see. Sorry, I just had a mind blank.
No
here.
problem. You're 20. You got married. Are you still at USF at the time? Are you like a junior?
Yes, and then I got pregnant at 19. So I had my daughter at 20. I was still going to college. Had the baby, took her everywhere with me, and I just pushed through. And then, our marriage didn't last. We were making very good money. He was the general contractor on the International Plaza, him and his dad. And we had, $100,000 in the bank, and he went off the deep end. And so we split, and that's when I found out I was pregnant with my second child.
Wow.
While we were separated. And so...
Were you still in college, child number two as well?
I was. And he was about 6 months when I took a semester off. And I said, I only had
What a multitasker you were.
Yeah. I don't know how the heck I did it. I didn't
kids,
sleep
college,
much.
rave scene,
Yeah,
married.
and we owned a business. And I worked full time. So I worked at a company full time and ran the business after. I don't know how I did it, to be honest with you.
Designer drugs.
I stopped doing those.
You were an academic.
Yeah, I was. And I'm an alcoholic. So I have the disease of wanting more.
Yeah.
So we ended up divorcing, and I'm sorry, I just drew a mind blank. Oh, I had taken 2 semesters off when my second child was 6 months old. Because I just needed that kind of a break. But there was statistics that it's like a 70% chance that you won't finish if you don't go back, if you wait longer than a semester. So I went back, and it was a struggle finish in those last 2 semesters. But, I did it, and I'm very proud of my degree because I went through a lot during those years. And then my ex-husband ended up dying of a drug overdose.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and he died of a drug overdose.
And the father of your children?
The father of my 2 children,
geez.
yeah. My daughter was 13 and my son was 7. And at that time, we had been split for 6 years. But it really affected me, so...
Yeah.
And then I met Mike, who I'd been seeing for about 6 months, and had a third child, Giovanni. And he's now turning 14 this month. So I have a 27-year-old daughter, a 21-year-old son, and a 14-year-old son. And so anyhow,
You got married to Mike?
No,
No.
I did not get married to Mike. We were together for 11 years, and we started partying together a lot. So it got out of hand. When COVID hit, I say I turned into a pickle during COVID.
Yeah.
In the big book, it talks about being a pickle, and you can't go back to being a cucumber. And so...
I think that happened to a lot of people during COVID.
Yes.
Just... what else was there to do for 6 months to a year, really?
Yeah.
And they left the liquor stores open.
Oh, I was
How diabolical.
And I was in the liquor store buying cases. It like they were gonna run out, and
Like toilet paper. I had a bunch of toilet paper. I was sober, so I was hoarding toilet paper like a maniac.
so I thought that I was buying it to last, and I would drink it all in one night. So I wasn't an everyday drinker, but when I started, I couldn't stop. And I struggled with that when I got sober because I didn't understand why I couldn't go back to the way I used to be. And it took me a little while. It's a progressive fatal disease, and I turned into a pickle.
Yeah.
So
Congratulations.
Was there one specific incident? Sorry. So was there a specific incident during this time that you told yourself, that's it? Like, did this lead up to something or lead down to something that you decided that's enough? This is my bottom.
Sure, absolutely. I hit an emotional bottom that was just devastating. We all come in financially bankrupt. Well, most of us financially bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt, and emotionally bankrupt. And I hit jail's institution and death in about 6 to 9 months. And the seed was planted. I had come into Alcoholics Anonymous, and I didn't take it very seriously. I said, y'all are crazy if you think I'm getting sober. And I said, I'm not getting a sponsor, and I'm not doing 90 meetings in 90 days. And
How did you come in? Was it court ordered? Or
oh, no.
You just decided or you told somebody, I'm going to go try it, but you knew you weren't going to follow through.
Well, I was asking for help. That was the hardest thing I ever did was ask my mom for help. And she didn't know how to help me. However, I was told about a place called the Warehouse Club of Dunedin. And my friend told me about it and said, I think you'll really like that place. And so my first meeting was Cocaine Anonymous. And I thought that I was going there to get help to not do cocaine and that I would be able to continue to drink.
Yeah.
And I learned very quickly that I was an alcoholic, and I couldn't do either. So, I went there, and it's a very special place to me because I only would go to that place.
Right.
Like, there's meetings all over the place, but for whatever reason, I was just mortified to tell anybody about my addiction. And
So you just have the two, cocaine and alcohol, or were you?
I mean, I smoked pot for 20 years, so I might as well add that on there.
All right.
Designer drugs for a while.
There's a lot
She
of
was
the
with Calvin
rate.
Klein and those designers.
Yeah, I mean, I dabbled in that from like 18 to 19. It wasn't too long because I had my daughter Brittany, and then I had Caden. He's my second child, and I was a worker. I was a career woman. I was a mother, and my drinking got out of control. It started to get out of control when my ex-husband died, and then I pulled back on it. People had told me, hey, maybe you should lay off the alcohol, and I pulled back, and then it hit me. And it wasn't until I had become addicted to cocaine that I started drinking excessively. And but it grabbed a hold of me. I didn't even realize how bad it had grabbed a hold of me because you're in it. You're just stuck in it, in this cycle. And I kept saying I fell off the tracks and I don't know how to get back on. And so I walked into Alcoholics Anonymous, but I didn't take it seriously. And then I went to jail twice, and I went to an institution.
What'd you go to jail for?
I had a second DUI and battery with my kid's dad.
Nice.
And I was intoxicated when that happened. And it was 2 times in 3 months.
Yeah.
That's like the galvanizing moment, right?
Yeah, it was just the escalation of it. So, they took me in an ambulance twice on a stretcher. My kids were there. Just, devastating looking back on it. It was devastating then as well. But, I just hit a bottom of where I was destroying my life. I always had motivation and dreams and high expectations of myself. And
so how old were your kids when all this was happening?
My daughter was off on her own. She was probably 23, 24. Caden was, at the end, he was 17. So, it probably started when he was like 13, 14.
So was your oldest daughter like the rescuer and that, or?
No, it was actually my 17-year-old son.
Okay.
He was the man of the house that, like, when my kid's dad and I split, he was, you know, and he was growing up and he was realizing mom's got a problem here. And, it broke his heart. My little guy was young, and a lot of the stuff I was doing was when he was away at his grandparents, and then I would clean up the mess, put a smile on my face. And so I was like 3 days on, 3 days off, 3 days on,
Did you like have a bottle of vodka in the laundry basket?
No.
No, you weren't.
I didn't hide my alcohol. Like, I hear so many stories about that. I'm like, no, I didn't hide it. I was like, let's go party.
Nice.
Yeah. I was addicted to fun.
That's because you're from Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when I came in here, I really thought that I was just having fun. And my sponsor had a few other things to tell me about that. So, and I'm glad she did, because my perception was that I was just having a good time and I was doing what everybody else was doing.
Hey, the fun's just getting started.
You were just part of the crowd. There was nothing special about your alcoholic abuse or your drug abuse. You were just doing what everyone else was doing, right?
I was, but it got a hold of me, and I'm grateful now that I hit my bottom. At the time, there was shame and guilt and remorse of how bad I had gotten, and my upbringing wasn't like that. And, like I said, I was an academic. I was in all the sports, and I owned my own business. I went to college, all these aspirations that I had. And then as I started to grow in recovery is when I realized that if I would have never hit that bottom, I would have never found the gift of Alcoholics Anonymous and the gifts of sobriety, the God that I have today. So today I'm grateful each day that I wake up that I'm happy, healthy. I'm very present in the moment with my kids. Which was all new, because all of a sudden I have a new relationship with all of them. And it's it's almost like you're asleep and you're walking around like a zombie controlled by this addiction. And then all of a sudden you're awakened.
Like, the holidays are a really good time to recognize the change in the relationships when you're not drinking. There's like the Thanksgiving that you weren't sober and getting messed up. And then there's the sober one. And they're really stark contrasts. And then you look at the relationship. For me, I used to look at that like wow, the relationships I can have now are totally different. In the way that your family's going to grow in the future.
Absolutely.
And that's, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I love those. And that was a big thing. Like, all those holidays were so family centric that you wanted to be. Sometimes you're just kind of faking it. Because people are coming over, you're kind of doing it. And then by the end of the night, everyone's kind of wasted, Yeah. And now it's...
I've ruined Thanksgiving before by going out the night before,
Sure.
Because I couldn't control not going out the night before. Everybody else was going out, but I couldn't take it.
I couldn't either.
I took a...
What is it about the night before Thanksgiving that just everybody goes buck wild?
It's like the number one drinking day of the year. Well,
really?
One of them, yeah. It's the day before Thanksgiving, the night before, yeah.
Everybody's home from college. Now I go back to college because that just seems to be where everybody ramped it all up. Everyone's home. You don't have anything to do the next day but eat.
Right.
And you can sleep in.
Yeah, you have a 4-day weekend.
Yeah. So
but so many other people could drink the night before and then enjoy their Thanksgiving, but I would ruin to where I, couldn't even barely eat. So.
See, I would have, every other holiday was just, they were all game for the same shenanigans, man. It was like Thanksgiving was just I just got like a clemency for my behavior.
Yeah.
But it was going on full time all the time.
I was going to say, I didn't need a reason to drink.
Yeah, that was...
I would drink if it was storming outside, that was like actually a trigger for me when I was getting sober. It was the storms. I would go to the bar and ride the storm out.
That's a safe
being
place.
here in Florida, that's every day in the summer, especially,
Some guy in a yellow fucking rain suit's going to be
every
there.
day. From 2 to 5.
Saving you from the storm.
Yeah.
I was the guy with the yellow rain suit.
Yeah, I mean, I drink for my sorrows and I drink for celebration. I'm just like it says in the big book where it says, we've ruined the event. Like I've got something big coming up and I'll party like a couple days before. Or, I did all of that. So.
I can remember taking the Christmas tree with the lights on it and all the ornaments and taking it to the dumpster because Christmas was over that year. It was over. I got drunk and I literally picked up the tree and walked outside with it, the lights and everything on it, and ripping it out into the dumpster. And that's it, bitch. Christmas is over this year.
Well.
And then having to kind of sober up and then putting the tree back together, it was a little lopsided.
You had to bring it back in?
Well, I
They
had
were
to,
like,
I had to apologize.
Primo, bring it back in?
How do you? What do you gotta make up for
I
that?
don't know. I think that's hilarious. That sounds like something out of a sitcom to me.
This was at the end.
Yeah.
This is at your bottom.
This is when the hostage had been rescued yet. So.
I mean, I remember in my bottom throwing things out on the lawn when I was moving, and
Right.
I had people. I lived in Safety Harbor for 11 years, and I had people messaging me asking if we're having a garage sale or yard sale.
Yeah.
And what was going on, and there was a Christmas tree out there too.
Sure. All that shit's gone. It's over.
Yeah.
That stuff's.
It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
I don't want this shit.
Yep.
And then so we moved apart, and today I live a great sober life. I have a couple sponsees that I pass on the message to.
That was going to be one of my questions was, do you sponsor other women?
I do.
You do? Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, I do. And that's a new path for me, probably in the last 9 months.
Yeah.
I've had 5 or 6. I currently have 2. So
Good for you.
they come
Good
and
for
go,
you.
and-
Yeah.
I will tell you that one of the main reasons, I kind of study people. I'm watch people. I listen to them. I see how they act, and that was one of the reasons I asked you to come on the show. I know that you're doing the deal. You're doing the 12 steps. You're helping other people, and that was kind of important to me. I learned early on to stick with the winners. You know what I mean? And I view you as a strong. Obviously, we all have these great pasts. They're wonderful, but you have this strong walk about you in the room. And I'm like, okay, I kind of like the way you're handling yourself and that you're going to be there to help the other women because the women desperately need it because there's always a few weird guys around that are willing to help them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And and it really drives me crazy.
Me too.
But I see that you're the interferer of that. You're going to step in and.
Oh yeah, actually, one of my sponsors was the first thing I did. I said, "Listen, guys, stick with the guys.
Yeah.
Girls stick with the girls." And I didn't think that I was going to be a sponsor. That I wanted to be a sponsor. It actually terrified me at first. I was like, I'm not signing up for that. However, we can't keep it unless we give it away. And I have this, natural desire to want to give that miracle, that gift to someone else to experience. But for me, I was on my deathbed. There was no other option. It was either find God or die.
Right.
And so I got to finding God. And so I work a really solid program because my disease wants me dead.
Sure.
And I just keep doing it. I found what works for me, and I just don't change it. So I'm grateful to be here.
There more will be revealed, obviously. As you go on this journey, you are going to have more revelations, and I'm excited to see that in you and how you're going to handle yourself because, women fascinate me from the fact that, that first of all, they can have kids and all that. God made women special for sure, and that the amount of pain that they can endure and the obstacles that they can overcome, it always fascinated me. Like you say, a man is supposed to be strong, but God made women especially strong. you know, and that
Emotionally strong, I think.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, I've witnessed the birth of my 3 kids. I still couldn't believe it.
Yeah, there's
That you could actually have another living thing that you carried, and you're strong, and it's. I have newfound respect every time I watch that. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It still is. I mean, it just seems like it's so strong. Anyway, what you were saying, Primo.
What you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, you guys get it. I mean, but there's something about that strength that I think it's something as a man becomes mature about and recognizes, and then women actually realize they have that power too. You know, and I've seen it like where they don't even know that they have this other gear in life that they can handle all those things. They can have the kids, they can have the jobs and the businesses and all these things, and they're just juggling all these things. And it's a miracle that they are not throwing the Christmas tree out, you know, or whatever, and beating him up and doing all those things. But eventually I think it comes to a head, and it's like, okay, now it's time to get real, and it's cool that you're going to take that opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I'm actually in another stage of my sobriety, and I'm peeling back some layers and finding out some things that are deeper. I just started doing that since March. I got a new sponsor, and I'm working on some other things. And so it just shocks me about how many layers there are to peel back. Some good, some bad.
I was going to say, do you want to expound on any of those? Anything that comes to mind that was specifically?
Sure, absolutely. So, one of my, I don't want to say downfalls, but I've had several toxic relationships. So currently I'm working on, learning how to love myself, self-love, because as an active alcoholic, I didn't love myself enough. So the toxic relationships were acceptable to me.
Yeah. You didn't think you deserved anything better?
I didn't, apparently. Internally, I didn't think I deserved anything better, but I didn't know this until recently, until it was revealed. And so that's a lot to take in. It's just a history of one toxic relationship after another, whether they were 10-year relationships or 3-year relationships. I haven't had a healthy relationship in a really long time. So that's something I'm just working on me, working on learning how to love myself. So
that's great. That's so self-aware, to know that that is an issue and that you realize it and that you're working on it. I mean, because in the past, it just seems like you would move from maybe one toxic relationship to the other because you just figured that's where your comfort zone was. Being alone wasn't a comfort zone because you would only thing that you had when you were alone, besides your 3 kids, was maybe booze and alcohol. And then you looked for another toxic person to help you say that, no, it's okay. Drink all you want.
Absolutely.
Party all you want.
Yeah. I'm actually newly single, and this is the first time I've been single in 15 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Enjoy it while it lasts, by the way.
Primo's jealous.
Yeah.
No, listen, I've done my due diligence on the relationships. So
Yeah. So this is all new for me. It is. I just take it one day at a time. That's all I can really do. Take it one day at a time and be open-minded and willing.
So I used to date with a U-Haul. Okay, and that's how I dated. Like, if I showed up with flowers, you better fucking leave the state. Okay, get a restraining order. As soon as the first flowers hit the door, go, run.
Yeah, I remember at the end of my drinking that I'd packed all my belongings in my car at least once a week and took off, stayed at a hotel, came back, took off, came back. It was just, I was in this cycle, this rut that I did not know how to get out of. And I had no idea that, it was alcohol or my thinking, because, it's not a drinking problem, it's a thinking problem. But I'm just really grateful that I found a solution, and my sober date's January 9th, 2023, if I didn't say that.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's just after me. I'm 12/17/2022.
Oh, wow.
So you Did you come into the warehouse then? So we were in the warehouse fresh at the same time. I was a month ahead of you, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why what I enjoy about doing this particular show is that the difference between 33 years and just under 3 years is that we have a totally different perspective. Like with you and me, this is really fresh. We like learn new stuff still all the time. And Primo's kind of learned it, forgotten it, learned it, helping people. I mean, I love the fact when he says what he said earlier, which is he likes to be introspective and learn more about the people who are actually doing the work. You know, because we do see, you know, people come in and go out and kind of half step and I feel for them. I wish they could stay in because life is so great once you stay in. You know?
Yeah, I wish I had a tack hammer that I could just hit him in the head with and say, fucking wake up. But and then you see the people that are woke up, but they're going to struggle because it's you walked a long way into the woods. You got to walk all the way back out.
Yeah. So I remember seeing people in the rooms that didn't get it. You know, I remember when the light came on.
Yeah.
And I saw the world with a new pair of glasses. And I had asked my sponsor, I don't understand why some people get it and some people don't. And the response that I got was they're missing the surrender. You know, I had a complete surrender. I had a complete acceptance.
For sure.
It wasn't right off the bat, but when I got it, I got it. And I got it probably a few months into sobriety that I had to thoroughly be convinced that I was an alcoholic and that I could no longer
safely
drink alcohol safely ever again.
No.
It's written. It was written in the 1930s, that exact sentiment. You know, like there it is. And I believe that, you know, that the gospel is in there. So it's divinely inspired. How could they have figured me out? And I'm pretty complicated that many years ago and put it in writing for me to follow and guide me through my life. It's like crazy.
Absolutely.
You know, and the thing, and it works for like millions of people. It's not just, and then it transcends into all these other micro 12-step programs all over, you know, and I'm like, and we've had some guys on the show from other 12-step programs, and I'm typically been a black belt AA guy, but I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta take, you know, I gotta take my head out of my ass a little bit and open my mind, because having an open mind is a really a key essence of the whole deal, you know, and
I mean, I was pretty skeptical of the big book when I first came in. You know, it's like, what is this book everybody's talking about? I mean, I could read a book. That was my comment. I could read a book. Like, what's so special about this book?
Yeah.
And today, it's very special to me. It's got the answers, got the solutions to everything we need, and you know.
I was particularly happy about having a book involved, because then I didn't have to come up with an original thought or really think too much. I'm like, oh, this is a big book meeting, we're just gonna read. Oh, thank goodness, because I don't want to share. You know, I got maybe so many things going on today, and I'm still can't believe I'm here with these folks. I can't believe I got so much in common with them. But if we're gonna sit here and read, that's great. Yeah. And I don't have to be too introspective. I can just be, right? Like, we are enough. I am enough. I'm doing fine just being in the room.
Yeah.
So I don't have to get pointed at. You know, I've been to meetings where you get pointed at, you got to share. Or, you know, the first meeting I went to was the one in Tarpon Springs up there, the dry dock. And there was 50 guys and women in that room. And the guy speaking pointed right at me my first day and made me talk. And I started bawling. I mean, maybe he knew that was going to happen. Maybe now that I'm a couple years in, I see how the new person's vulnerability helps the veteran person reestablish their own sobriety. So maybe that was on purpose. Maybe he was like, hey, this new guy is on edge.
That's why
let's make him share so we can see what it was like when we first came in, so we can re-enjoy our sobriety, right? I guess that's...
Yeah.
Well, that's why the newcomer is the most important person in the room, bar none. So, yeah, I need to see it.
I also think that we're so full of fear when we come in that I think it takes like an act of God for us to actually speak up, you know. And I actually had someone going like this, pointing. She
Pointing at you.
Yeah, pointing at me. And so he called on me, and I was like, me, just like you said.
Yeah.
And I would have never spoke up.
Yeah.
I was mortified to be in there. Yeah. So it works twofold, you know. I try to engage with newcomers, you know, when I go to meetings on a regular basis, because of that very reason, that you can miss that moment that, you know, really could have helped them open up.
Yeah.
Whether you give them your phone number or give them a meeting guide or just give them a hug.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, I've been to like meetings and lived in a lot of different places, and there's different sobriety. I mean, it's almost like a dialect, you know, where you go, like where we're going to meetings right now, there's this very specific dialect that reaches people. But I definitely encourage you guys to mix up your meetings and explore this new toy, because even when you're traveling, get out there and go to a meeting, man, because you're gonna be like, holy crap, look at how they're doing it over here. You might be like, wow, these guys are really messed up here, or wow, this is really great. And
yeah, I think they're really fun to go to when you travel.
yeah, it's important, you know, that you get this culture.
Yeah.
There's a culture going on, and it works differently in different places, and the way that it's interpreted is also different. Yeah. And I've had to learn to be open-minded. You know, that's the whole thing with me, because I grew up in a very strict idea of what my right and wrong was, and where I grew up and what we were doing was the absolute. You know, like if you didn't grow up in our neighborhood, then you were kind of messed up. You know what I mean? And everyone else was an issue. But as I go around, and like in the Keys, they give you a worm instead of a chip. They give out worms, and then if you get a year, you get a rubber chicken. What it all means, I don't really know. It's cool and it's fun and it's different. You know what I mean? But that's what they do down there. I've been to my old home group gave marbles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
Where you get your marbles back.
Yeah, you lost your marbles, now you're getting them back. So that was my home group, gave out marbles, and then you get the chips, and then you got the anniversaries, and then there's different, you know, places that do that differently. And but I think it's important that you explore all of that, you know. Absolutely. And even in the conventions too are a great way. You know, if you get an opportunity to go to one of those, go, because it would just broaden your horizon, you know. And you might be something that you're struggling with or have a pain with, and it's like, holy crap, the solution was right there. I just didn't know how to find it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really important.
Yeah. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I like diverse meetings. I do a lot of literature meetings, at least one women's meeting a week. I think that's really important. You know, that the guys bond with the guys, girls bond.
I love women's meetings.
I bet you do.
Do you think that do you think that women face some specific challenges that men don't when it comes to the program, or are we all just the same drunks?
We're all just as messed up as each other. However, in women's meetings, we can talk about things that we can't talk about with men around. You know, like emotional stuff or men's stuff, or you know, things that you just don't talk about in a co-ed meeting. And
those creepy old guys, with 33 years of sobriety hanging around, leering at the.
I think it's really important, though. You know, it really is. I didn't want to go to women's meetings when I first started my recovery, and I said, "What is with it with sponsors wanting you to go to women's meetings?" Well, you know, as alcoholics, usually men have problems with women, and women have problems with men.
Yeah.
And not only that, but women don't like other women.
Oh no, it gets catty. It gets catty in the meetings.
Today I like other women. Today I have a lot of women friends in recovery and sobriety, and I had to learn how to do that, you know. And I learned by going once a week, if not more. So
all the women I know are alcoholics because none of them get along.
Oh, geez, no.
So they need to get sober to figure out how to get along.
Oh, yeah.
The majority of my sober life has been going to men's meetings.
Yeah, that's important.
Well, I you know, a girl goes up, she gets a cup of coffee. By the time she sits down, we've been married and divorced. Okay, I've already fantasized this whole thing. I can't. I lose track of what's going on.
It's a distraction.
Oh, it's a distraction. I can't handle it. I gotta get the hell out of there.
I mean, I did think you were single.
Oh, no. I am so
I know
happy.
he told me he was married, and I said, "What?"
Yeah.
No, it's probably my fault. I don't look at someone's hand to see if they're married. I don't know. I've never been one to do that, so I just assumed, I guess.
That I was single?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm very happily married. In fact, there's a picture of my wife.
Good for you.
Yeah, and she's a normie, and she doesn't need.
Bless her soul.
I know, man. I'm like
The
and
patience she must have.
You know, I got up this morning and I said, "Honey, did you forget?" She goes, "Forget what?" I said, "How lucky you are." That went over real well.
Yeah.
But she loves my sense of humor. She loves it.
You'd have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I won't even. I may share a story that happened this week that was so beyond embarrassing. I may do it. I'm not sure yet.
He's the perfect example of why you should take some time and be single and get your shit together.
You don't want to end up with me, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking some time. I think that's important for self-love is, have some healing time.
You know?
You know, it's in the relationship world. I had to, like this last one. I was dating online, which is a whole new thing for me. In sobriety, which is really bizarre. And when I met my wife, I had been dating online for like a year, and I'm like, this is driving me crazy. And because I didn't want to go to bars, and I didn't know where to go. I mean, I never really had a problem. But I wanted to find, I was searching for my next wife. So I wanted to be married. The first one just didn't work out. And after the first date, I said, listen, I'm getting rid of all of these apps. I'm 100. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm 100% committed to you and us. And I'm not going to play any games, and I'm not going to have a stable or whatever, because it was easy. You could have, you could be dating 3 or 4 people and shuffle the deck and try to figure out. I just didn't want to do it. And
it's too much work.
but I had to leave all that stuff, all the baggage too,
Yeah.
from previous relationships. I had to leave that at the doorstep.
Yeah.
Say, you know what? Yeah, I'm insecure. Yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah, I'm all these things, and I'm just going to tell her what I need. I'm going to tell her that I'm afraid. I'm going to tell her that certain things make me insecure. I need to be called once in a while, or I need this, or I need that. These are things that and I'm not going to just like have it be cryptic. I'm going to come out and totally tell you how I feel. And if you do these things, I will not be the crazy, that other guy won't be there.
Right.
And it worked. And she accepted that. And like, it was refreshing for her.
Good.
Yeah. And it was hard for me.
Well, you're an inspiration.
Well, she's also a very strong woman. Normally, she doesn't need me or my money or nothing. She's really strong and independent. So that was difficult too.
See, I've always had that problem that guys that I've been with have always wanted and been attracted to an independent, strong woman. And then once they're with me, they can't take the heat. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I should say it that way, but they just
It's a challenge.
the same thing that
think it's well put.
that attracts them to me is the same thing that pisses them off. So, and I've been through a lot of trauma in my life, and I've always had to be like the mom and the dad. And so I really never knew how to be just the mom or just the girlfriend or just the wife and be submissive. So that's part of what I'm working on now, the self-love and, just taking it one day at a time, honestly.
I think it's a partnership. It's a partnership, man. It's like just like anything else, and I had to put the scoreboard down. Like, I did this, this, and this, and having expectations, and just having the comfort to just be loved,
Yeah.
and accept it. Like, I'm worthy of it. How in the hell? Who would have thought?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's such a realistic thing that you can have in your life,
Yeah.
and you just have to demand it because you're worth it. You know what I mean? It's like you have to set a boundary. Like, I am going to let that be a part of who I am in the future.
Absolutely.
And that's the 4-step shit right there.
Nice. Nice number drop.
Oh,
Nice step drop.
well, you guys, I know it's warm. I tried to turn the air conditioner down. We're svelting in here, folks. They're not in here.
Maybe that's because of the power went out with these Florida storms.
No.
Mystery.
I don't know, but it's going to be something I'll have to fix. Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, here on Sober Shenanigans, we like to have celebrity quotes for celebrities that are sober, since it seems to be the in thing. There's quite a few of them. And Christy from kzoo, the farmer's daughter, chose Eminem, which is Primo and I are both fans of Eminem. So
Damn, that girl's crazy.
yeah, man, she's crazy Christy. Back in 2008, Eminem said the following. He said, Vicodin, Valium, and Ambien, and toward the end, I was doing methadone. I remember when I first got sober and all the shit was out of my system. I remember just being like really, really happy, and everything was fucking new to me again. And in 2009, my Relapse album was the first time that I enjoyed recording music in a long, long time. It was like the first time I started having fun with music again. My brain started working again. Sobriety is the shit, man.
I love it.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah, and he's from Detroit, so, it goes hand in hand there. Yeah. Fellow Michigander.
I have been totally head over heels with Eminem once I found out he was in recovery. But I always liked him because I was from Detroit, 8 Mile, the movie, and all that stuff. And then some of the lyrics that he has come up with in reference. I mean, I love the playful, ball-busting lyrics that he does, some of the early stuff.
He's very talented.
But some of the recovery lyrics, so powerful, man.
Yeah.
And the fact that him and Elton John befriended each other because apparently he had some gay slurs in his music, and he had to make nice with Sir Elton. And they're best buddies, and Elton helped him get sober. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's there's these cool under things that are going on because these guys, let's face it, they can't walk into a meeting and get, they have to have what, I don't know what it's like for them to go to a meeting.
An entourage.
Yeah, I think they have these wizard meetings,
Wizard meeting.
Yeah. Well, we have a wizard meeting. Some guys and I have this group to get together.
What goes on at a wizard meeting?
That's a question. That's a great question. Yes, Primo. What goes on at a wizard meeting?
Well, I can't tell you.
Okay.
You know what happens? I mean, it's some of the guys in there don't want to necessarily share in a public forum, but they need to be able to release, and you just can't have that one-on-one with yes, your sponsor and maybe your sponsees. If you're doing the deal, you don't have all that pent-up drama. But it doesn't matter. I mean, you have so many layers, and when you start peeling back layers from and maybe it's the success you've had in sobriety that creates all this new drama, and whatever it is, you need to have a safe space, and the general population sometimes doesn't offer that, or it's inappropriate. It's almost like going back to group therapy. It's basically all it is.
Yeah.
Nothing.
But more private. Yeah.
I don't know. I really have enjoyed it, and I've had the luxury of doing it.
Well, you have it at someone's house, right? I mean, you don't have it at a clubhouse.
It's an undisclosed location.
Right.
Yeah, it's private.
Right.
And when we're talking about celebrities, right?
Not well. I mean, if
Celebrities
in their
go to
own
these
mind.
wizard
something,
parties.
yeah. Nothing like that. But it's maybe a guy has 500 people working under him,
Yeah.
or you know what I mean, and they have a big company or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Those there needs to be a safe space to release the dragon, and it's hard to find those guys that you can trust, to have that bond with, to be able to communicate. And it's okay. I mean, I'm actually sometimes grateful that I'm even invited. You know what I mean? Or then other times I'm annoyed. Like today I'm actually showing you guys the mannequin AI resentment thing that I did, because I have a resentment towards one of the guys. But it is what it is. It's all good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I know we're sweating to death in here.
I know. Well, listen, if you're having a tough time quitting, whatever it is that you need to quit, you're not alone. There's apps and numbers and groups in your town, or you can call us if you want. Leave us a message, 727-294-4933. hit us up on Facebook. You know, taking that first step into a room or a chat or a group with people just trying to get better just like you will be the best day of your life. So it's been great having you, Christy. Is there anything that you'd like to finish the show with, or any thoughts on top of your mind that you want to get out that you wanted to share today that you haven't already shared? You've been a great guest. Is there anything else?
I just really enjoy my sobriety, and I'm just grateful on a daily basis that I found what I found. I drank for 30 years, and if I didn't walk the path that I walked, I would have never found the gifts of sobriety.
Beautifully put. So I'd like to see you follow that up, Primo. Primo, what's your final point for today's show? Primo's point.
I like that. I think I've said a lot today. You know what I mean? I've been piping into a little too much. But I really am grateful that you came on the show. And
Thank you for having me.
And, because I looked at I obviously have a lot of guy friends I can get to come in and share they love it, right? But I don't have many women that I was able to just be able to comfortably ask to come in here, and that I could just outwardly see that they are doing the deal, and they could come in here and deliver a message, deliver the goods. So my last thought is just thank you for that. And if you're not aware of it, I am, and you're doing great. Seriously.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here.
Thank you. Well, thanks for listening to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. Worry, anxiety, and fear, it's all up in here. So just give yourself a break. You're enough, and you're doing great. I'm Stoff, and he's Primo. And remember,
no drinks today.
We're all on the same boat, fellas.
But our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really.
Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Shenanigans!